Okay, so I'm going to show you a few things that Ravelry has to offer you. And there's some really cool things. Now, we've already talked about how to search for a pattern. You can also search if you know the designer, or if you have a forum, if you join a group. For example, you're doing a knit along, they have knit alongs in here that you can look up your groups. People, there's all kind of things that you can look for in here. I generally just look for patterns because I know where to find things. So the other thing is I've gone ahead and put a picture up here, and you can see it's kind of the same picture I use for my YouTube videos. But if you have things in your basket that you wanted to buy, that's under the little purse. Mine has three, so there's three things that I want to buy. You can also get some new messages if you have friends on here that have joined also, or groups. Sometimes your groups will send you, especially if you've joined a knit along, and they send you a pattern every week or every month or something. They'll put the links in here in your messages. There's also, see, I've joined an Afghan knit along and skein walker group. So there's different things that I've posted up here. The one thing that I want to work with you today on is my notebook. My notebook is really cool. There's a lot of links that you can go to with Ravelry through my notebook. And one of them is projects. If you have put projects up, which I have, you can see I've put my angelic round toe sock up here that I created. I've also done Jana's Christmas sock work along, and I put pictures of my socks up here. And then I have a place that has files. So you can keep some of your things in here so that you can remember. You can, and once you go to them, for example, let's go to my angelic round toe sock. This gives all the information. I could have put in here a link to my blog channel so that you could download the pattern for this. And I did this when I first joined, so I'm not real savvy at this, so I'm sorry about that. Let's go back up to my notebook then, and we can go into the queue. Now, there are different things that I have started here. I started a mystery lace blanket knit along, and that was kind of fun. I also did this wonderfully woolly sweater by Paintbox Yarns. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this. And these are all things that you can put into your notebook. So for example, you can add it to, if you look up at the top kind of, middle right-hand corner, you see it says add to favorites, #1 in the queue. It's in my library. And there's different things that you can do with this. So this is kind of a neat thing to have here. You can download this pattern for free. It's another way to not have to search for patterns that you don't remember the name, but you remember you made it and you want to do it again. Okay, let's go to Stash. I don't have anything in Stash. I haven't put, a lot of times people will put how much yarn they have in here, what color it is, where they bought it. You can do all kinds of things with this. And this is kind of nice. Excuse me. If you have some yarn that you want to find a pattern for, this will help you to know what yarns you have in your closet that you call your stash. Okay, hand spun. I don't have anything in hand spun. Tools, I don't have anything in tools, but there are some tools that are already built into this, and you can use this chart. You can do needles. They have a needle chart that you can add some of your things to, and this would be really handy because I have double points, I have circulars. You can do all kinds of things. There's hooks for crocheters, and there's a detailed inventory if you want to add things, and you can add things. Okay, back up to my notebook. Favorites, I have tons. You can see I have 8 pages of things that I put in favorites. And as I go through and buy the pattern, and I haven't taken some of these out, you can actually take them out after you have put them in here. You just go up to trash. If you hover around a pattern, some things will come up. You can edit and tell it what yarns you want to use, but you can also trash it if you've made it. For example, this Uniquely Spring, I've made this. I have already done this, so this should be here, and it should also be in my library. Let's go back up to my notebook, and when I go to my library, See, I already have Uniquely Spring in here because I went ahead and bought this pattern. These are patterns that I've either downloaded, bought, have knit, have done things with. So if you're having a hard time finding some of the patterns that you've already done, if you come into my library, my notebook, and then down to my library, you can find things that you've already made or already, and there, see, I have the wonderfully woolly sweater again. Okay, so Ravelry also, you can look up patterns. Let's click on that. It's at the top left-hand corner. And you can search by name, designer, or anything. This is just a second way that you can look for things. You can look at yarns. There's different yarns in here that you can look at. You can look through acrylics, alpacas, angoras. If we go to alpaca, for example, they'll show some of the things, drops. A lot of people have used drops. So they put whatever goes into your queue when you put it into your stash. A lot of times it will show up in here. Okay, the other thing is you can look into community. I've joined Lace Hearts. I had others, but I've gotten rid of them. Different things. You can translate patterns. There's a Skanewalker group that I joined. There's some of the activity. And these also, I think, show up when you do your messages, some of your messages, and I don't have any new messages. Okay, the other thing is there's support. If you're having a hard time with support, with Ravelry, spend a little bit of time in the support button, in the support tab. They will tell you all the things you're wanting to know. There's different questions that have been asked. There's some blog posts, help groups, there's contact. You can look at designers, introductory guides, there's all kinds of things. And then they have an advanced search, which you can also use if you kind of don't know the name, but you know part of it, you can always look in here. Okay, you can see I have 299 things in my favorites. I have 370 in my library, which means I've either downloaded freebies or I've bought them. And I've bought a lot of things. I have a couple in my queue, my favorite designers, woo, and recently viewed. So there's lots of ways that you can get around in Ravelry. Just go ahead and play with it. I hope this has helped you. I really like Ravelry. It's one of my favorites. And so go ahead and enjoy it. I'm going to stop this video for now.